Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you that are new here, I am Gwen. I'm a 67-year-old woman with transgender experience. And everyone here is welcome as long as you are polite and respectful. No haters will be tolerated. So I'd like to start off welcoming new subscribers to the channel. It's always nice to have new people join. I'm glad you find my videos interesting. Sometimes I think they're a little boring, but whatever. I'd also like to mention a shout out to some new friends. I got some very, very nice comments last week. So, excuse me, it's wonderful to make new friends. So, anyways, as you can see, I'm in the car. I'm actually driving back home. I had my 1-year follow-up exam yesterday with my surgeon, and I know actually tomorrow is going to be 1 year to the day that I had my bottom surgery. So it's really kind of awesome. So anyways, the appointment went very, very well. I didn't see the surgeon. Well, I did see her. I talked to her for about a minute, but I didn't really. The surgeon didn't examine me. It was the PA, but still, the PA said everything looked good. There was some very, very slight scar tissue, which was fine. He was able to treat it with some silver nitrate. The incisions around the labia, he said, healed up. They're barely visible, which is really awesome. And then he checked me for depth. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this. I might have, for those of you that have been around for a while, but for those of you that are new here, I elected, when I had my bottom surgery, I elected not to have full depth vaginoplasty because I'm really, well, two reasons actually. One, near the point in my life, sex isn't that big of a deal anymore. I was actually kind of laughing about it with the PA. It's more now into the point in my life where a good night's sleep is more important than anything else. So that's one. The other thing is too, and I know this may be a letdown for some of my viewers, but I really have never had a desire to have sex with a man. My sexual orientation is towards women. So what that makes me now is I am lesbian, which I'm perfectly fine with. I have no problem with it. So anyways, with my bottom surgery, instead of having full depth vaginoplasty, which involves using skin grafts to get an additional amount of vaginal depth, so that's a little bit more, I'm not going to say invasive, but it's a little bit more of a major surgery because they can use skin graft and sew it to the existing penile skin to create a full depth vagina. I opted for what is called minimal depth. Now, when I had gone to see my surgeon a year and a half ago for a consultation, she said that I'll probably wind up with minimal depth, about 3.5 to 4 inches of depth, which is fine. So, anyways, went through the surgery, and then last July, when I was down for my 6 months, I was having some issue with scar tissue around the vaginal opening, which prevented me dilating properly. And at the time the PA measured me and says, you've only got like 2.5 inches of depth. I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is. So anyways, after the July visit, they had treated the scars with silver nitrate. And that kind of took care of the scar tissue, and I was able to start dilating properly again. So I've been very good. I should be doing my dilation it's like 2 to 3 times a week. I'm doing it every other day. So there may be some weeks it's 3 times, some weeks it's 4. But anyways, so I've been really, really good about doing that. So when the PA measured me yesterday, I was shocked. He measured it and says, you've got 4.5 inches of depth. Oh my God, that's really awesome. So what that means is if I ever wind up possibly wanting to engage in some kind of sexual activity, so to speak, I could probably insert sex toys. So, but enough of that. So anyways, I drove down to the area where the surgeon is Sunday afternoon. Stayed overnight. Very cute little room. Very nice, cozy, comfy, warm. Really, really nice. I went to the surgeon yesterday, and I know I've mentioned this before. I love her to pieces, but her time management leaves a lot to be desired. But it's for a good reason. It's not that she just doesn't manage her time properly. She takes the time to answer all her patients' questions, and she goes above and beyond, and because of that, it puts her behind. Now, my appointment was at 1 p.m. I sat in the waiting room till 3 p.m. They took me into the exam room. I waited another half hour. Then the PA came in. In the meantime, the surgeon, she was in and out real quick. Because she had to get something. She's like, oh my God, hi, how are you? I'm like, good. Doctor, how are you doing? She's like, good. So we had a quick chat. So the PA came in, did my exam, said I'm all set. I'm like, okay. Went out to the office, and well, there was at least another 20 minutes because I get along so good with all the girls in the office. I'm not patting myself on the back. It's their description, not mine. They're like, you're always so nice, and you come in here and you're dressed so nice. I had a purple skirt suit on with a white shirt, and I think I have a picture of it. I have to post it up here. So the skirt was just a little bit below the knee. First time I've ever worn it. I had bought it secondhand, used, and it's in really good shape. I just had to have the skirt taken in the waist about an inch, maybe an inch and a half. Fits me perfectly. So the girls were remarking about how nice I look and how I always go in looking very nicely. And they apologize for the delay. And I'm like, I know the doctor. I've been around her a year and a half. This is how she operates. It's not a big deal. They're like, you're always so nice and cheerful. I'm like, it's okay. Well, because I knew she was going to do this, I opted to stay overnight again. So it was actually 2 nights, which I anticipated, and it was a good thing because if I had expected my appointment at 1 o'clock and they took me on time and I got out of there and it was 1:45, let's say even 2 o'clock, it's a non-stop 5-hour drive back home, which would make it about 7 p.m. Well, since I never got out of there, it's 20 minutes to 5, it would have been closer to 10 o'clock. And I'm like, no, not going to do it, especially with it being the wintertime and dark and you've got a chance of running into snow, which as I get closer to home, my understanding is at home we have about 3 inches of snow, which is what it is. Right now where I am, there's no snow. There's snow in the hills, but there's nothing on the roads. So anyways, so I decided to head out this morning and make my way back. I'm taking my time. I left about 8:30 and I stopped at Costco to get fuel. And I've been kind of taking my time, and I'm in no hurry to get home. So I figure if I take my time, drive slower, a little bit more cautious, I'll get there. So I probably have another 2 hours to go, so I'm halfway. Let's see, what else? Well, of course, the political news just keeps getting worse and worse in the past week. I know there's the initial shock a week ago, Monday, but that is kind of settled down, so to speak. There is going to be some changes, not in the best interest of the transgender community. I'm pretty sure that the doctors are looking for ways to get around this. I was in my advocacy group meeting on Friday, and the clinicians at the hospital, we were discussing this, and unfortunately, what the consensus seems to be, and we think this is how it's going to move, is because the federal U.S. government is banning Medicare and Medicaid from paying for any gender affirming or gender confirmation surgeries. So, and they're tying federal funding to it. So if hospitals continue to perform gender affirming, gender confirmation surgeries, they will possibly lose federal funding. So, talking to the office gals yesterday, one of them mentioned that she had talked to somebody from my part of the state and said that there was a local hospital, which there really isn't in my area, that does gender confirmation surgeries. They do gender affirming surgeries because I've had some done, and my face done, and my breast done. The only one doing gender confirmation surgeries is a hospital out of Buffalo. Supposedly, what the office manager told me was the hospital in my area is stopping all gender surgeries. My guess is it's probably the hospital in Buffalo, because they were doing gender confirmation surgeries. Most likely they're getting federal funding. Unfortunately, it's a fact of reality that a lot of the transgender community relies on government-assisted healthcare, Medicare or Medicaid to be able to afford any kind of gender surgeries. So the discussion we had in the advocacy group on Friday, a lot of the clinicians were of the opinion that probably what's going to happen is gender surgeries are going to be a case of haves and have-nots. Those that have the funds and those that have the funds and the ability to go to a private physician. The sun's blocking me, but that's okay. Those that have the funds and the ability to go to private physicians are going to be able to get their gender surgeries done. Those that cannot afford going to a private surgeon are not going to be able to. My surgeon is in private practice, so she takes no federal funding. So for her, she's probably going to wind up getting more business for those that possibly afford something. I mean, that's a good thing for her, but it's also a bad thing because there's going to be so many of the transgender community that's going to be left out of getting gender surgeries. The manager and I were also talking about, she says that there is one of the surgeon's patients that is currently a student in Amsterdam, Netherlands, and her passport says female, but her birth certificate says male. She was born in the state of Tennessee, which is not allowing birth certificate changes. She was concerned that if she comes back, if her passport would be confiscated. And the answer is no. As far as passports go, with the executive order of last week, if you have X on your passport for a gender marker, then you'll be able to use it until it's renewed. When you renew it, the gender on your birth certificate has to match the gender on your passport. So what's going to happen, like this gal in Amsterdam, if it comes time for her, and the Trump administration is still in charge, the time comes for her to renew her passport, and it's during that time. Her birth certificate says male, her passport is going to have to say male, irregardless of how she looks. For those of us, like myself, who got their birth certificate changed because New York State is a blue state, it allowed me to change my birth certificate so it says female, and I was able to change my passport to female with my picture, and my passport doesn't renew until 2034. So even if for some reason these draconian laws are still in place, come 2034, I will have to submit a copy of my birth certificate to renew my passport. Well, it says female, and my passport says female, and my driver's license says female, so I'm all set. So this big uproar last Monday of how the U.S. is only going to recognize two genders, what it really gets down to is they are not allowing the X gender designation on passports anymore. So it's going to be male or female. That's it. It's not that bad. It's going to be horrible for those in the states that cannot change their birth certificate. So that's going to be a bit of a problem, but for a lot of other people, it should not be that bad. Now, when I had changed mine, it said right on the U.S. passport form, if you designate X for a gender marker, be aware that other nations may not honor it. So I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to make it female. Let's see, what else did we talk about in the advocacy group? Of course, paying for gender surgeries is going to be a tough go. Hormones. From what the office manager told me yesterday, a lot of the endocrinologists have gotten creative. So whether it be for testosterone or whether it be for estrogen, they can kind of skirt the laws, not the laws, it's not a law, the executive order not allowing Medicare or Medicaid to pay for any kind of transgender health care. They can skirt the laws and skirt the executive order by coding it differently. They can code it for transmasculine as an endocrine disorder. In my case, mine is coded as adult endocrine disorder, estrogen deficient. So I should be able to still receive my estrogen. So it may be a challenge to get hormones, but I don't think we're going to be excluded from it. The advocacy group was talking about probably mental health care, because the current administration feels that transgenderism, it's a horrible word, being transgender is a mental health issue. So they're probably going to be on board with mental health therapy, which is fine, because most of us have to have an ongoing relationship with a mental health professional in order to be qualified for gender affirming health care or surgeries. So the advocacy group is saying that it should be fine as far as providing mental health care. The tough part is going to be doing any kind of gender surgeries. I don't know how the university is going to handle it, because they get significant funding from the U.S. government for various things. Actually, my job is based on Department of Energy funding, so it's hard to say. We're not going to be affected, but the university is the one that gets the money, so we're not sure how that's going to play out. Will the university stop gender affirming surgeries? I don't think so. If there's enough clinicians that push back, probably not. What they may do is possibly code it differently, or bury the surgeries under something else. I'm not sure. This is all new, uncharted territory for everyone, so I imagine the university is probably going to find creative ways. They're a private university, which is good. They have DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion policy and a DEI department. They are not showing signs of dissolving it, so I think that's going to continue forward. So I'm almost guessing that what the university is going to do is, it may be more difficult to get gender affirming surgeries, but they may still offer them. But I have the feeling they're going to create let's say, a separate hidden account from the federal government to allow them to continue doing what they are. So, anyways, enough of going on about the whole state of the politics. It just, like I said, it's getting worse every day with closing the borders to all kinds of immigrants, the economic impact that's going to do to us. It's I hate to say it, it's a major shit show. So, anyways, I think I've droned on long enough. I hope I haven't put everybody to sleep and bored you with all my opinions and soapbox. But I thought what I found out Friday in my advocacy group and what I found out yesterday with the surgeon, I thought it was worth sharing. As you can see, I'm doing well. Like I said, my follow-up appointment, when you follow up appointment went fantastic. I'm really, really happy. We're in the midst of a busy week. Like I said, I'm getting home today, and Friday morning I'm flying to Panama to get my pensionado or pensioner's visa. So actually, I should hope to have it a week from today. So maybe I'll be able to talk about that a little bit next week. If anything, I will be doing a video next week from the sunny area of David, Panama. It's a seaside city. It's probably going to be 90 degrees and humid. I don't know. We'll find out when we get there. It's definitely going to be humid. I don't know about 90 degrees, but it's going to be sunny. Way better than it is here, which is now 26 degrees. Yeah. So enough. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And as always, like, share, subscribe. Any comments? Please, in the comment section below. Those of you that have been around long enough know that I reply, and even the new ones know that I reply to all comments. Please be respectful of others. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And I thank you again for watching. You're the reason why I make these videos every week. You're my extended family. And anything I can do to love, support, and help my extended family, I'm all for. So with that, I am going to close, and I will see everyone. It won't be here. It will be in sunny Panama next Tuesday.